Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy, the one and only. We're going to go through the markets. We're going to see what's going to happen this week. Make sure to like, subscribe, and make sure to join our private members, all of that good stuff. Share, like, and everything in between. Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is at 114,000 US dollars. Everyone was petrified, was scared. It's not the end of the bull market. Everyone was calling for lower prices. Everyone was calling for 90K, 100K, 102K. And I told you right over here, we are not going lower than 109. We're not going lower than 109. And I'll tell you why. We're just doing the same thing that we've done previously. Same thing. Nothing has changed. It's pretty much very, very similar to this period over here. We started in early September. We went up in that period. Then halfway through September, we went down. And we didn't actually close all the way below the September opening. September during that period was a bumpy road. We started off very well in the beginning right over here, and then we proceeded to go right over here and form a higher low. As a result, we ended the month on a green. Look very closely here. In September, we didn't form a lower low. I'm going to show you on the monthly for September during that period. September finished on a green candle. August was a red. If we have a look at the current bull run, nothing has changed. We have green here and red over here. Same thing applied. Just over here, we had green and red. We are not going lower. Let me repeat. We are not going lower. On the lower time frame, we're just underneath this resistance over here. Almost kissed my resistance, and it's above the EMA clouds. It needs to hold above 114 and continue up into this area of 117. This is a liquidity supply. It's most likely going to head over here and hit it one more time, then finally break out. That is my thesis. We're still heading to 145. Anyone that's telling you we're heading to 90K, you need to block them. Ethereum has bounced right over here. Picture perfect. I did tell you earlier, if you can get lucky, buy at 3,600 US dollars. That's going to be a steal, a massive steal. Solana is just over 200 US dollars. We had a pullback from the very peak to the trough of around 24%. Normally we do see this kind of characteristics from Solana. We do see like 24% over here, 24% over here. We had a deeper retracement, but I think that's it for our retracements. Large caps are going to show a lot of strength. Small caps are still struggling at the moment. We're going to have a look at BNB. BNB kissed this area right over here. Looks like we're about to break out once again. It pulled back from here to here of around 15%. The end target is at $1,147 right over here. Like I predicted before earlier, I did say that it was going to break out. It broke out, and that's a massive gain from this area. Just to be generous, or just to be fair, from this area to this area, it's gone up by 50%. It's outperformed majority of altcoins. BNB is the only coin that has clearly made all-time new highs. Ethereum has only breached, it's only kissed its previous all-time high. Solana, same thing. All of the major caps have not done this except for BNB. XRP is still struggling to break past this previous all-time high. There's major resistance right over here. Once it does break it, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading right over here. BNB has been in this huge bullish pennant for 8 years, 8 whole years, and it's a matter of time, not if, when we get to the promised lands of $7. This area looks like a accumulation zone. It doesn't look like distribution, folks. The next area is at $7 to $8. Like I said earlier, gold will be the best performing asset of this year, and I still stand by it. It's gone up by 46% on the yearly, whereas Bitcoin on the yearly has only gone up by 21%. But let's be a bit fair. Let's do from wick to trough. It's gone up by 33%. Solana for the yearly has gone up by 12%. From wick to trough, it's gone up by 33%. Let's compare the S&P 500. It's gone up from wick to trough 13%. Gold currently is the best performing asset of this year. And I did say this, I said this multiple times. I told folks many times, if you're sitting on stable coins, and I know a lot of folks are sitting on stable coins, go sit on some gold instead. Since then, from gold yearly open till now has gone down by 5%. So your stable coins have gone down by 5%. In my opinion, I believe that gold is a leading indicator. It's not a lagging indicator, it's a leading indicator. Gold is a leading indicator to Bitcoin. As you can see, this mark tops, mark the bottom, mark the bottom, mark the top, mark the bottom of gold. So you can see very clearly that it is a leading indicator. It's not a lagging indicator. When gold stops running, which in my opinion, I think it still has some more room to go. I think we're going to probably round this up to 4K. Once we hit 4K, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you on the RSIs just to give you a larger time frame on the RSIs. The RSI is oversold, no surprise there. Last time we were oversold, we did have a retracement or a calling off period. Now it didn't go down that much, ladies and gentlemen. It just moved sideways until it hit this SMA, then finally jumped to higher prices. I think the same thing is happening. There's a reprice happening. This is what Bitcoin was meant to look like. But as of now, it's going to continue to go up higher to 4,000 US dollars. Then we're going to have a retracement, and then we're going to see in Q4 Bitcoin go parabolic. I haven't spoken about Bitcoin mining companies, and it's a shame because I know a lot of folks actually slept and didn't really pay attention to Bitcoin mining companies. I did speak about this many times on my show. You can check my catalog, guys. This has gone up a whopping 49x. 49x. This is not a meme coin. This actually has gone up 49x. I did say my end target is right over here at $238, which I know that's going to happen sooner rather than later. That's a massive 210x. 210x. If you bought the lows in 2022, I know a few stories, a few participants that actually bought during this period, and they're sitting very pretty. Like, they're sitting very pretty. So it goes to show Bitcoin miners are showing some respite. I know it takes quite some time, but I still believe that these coins still have a long way up. You're not late. There are some highly undervalued plays. As you can see here, Mara's gone up by 8x. Riot has gone up from the 2022-2023 lows of around 4x. All of these are showing massive strength. And I was very vocal in this, ladies and gentlemen. And also, of course, the Ethereum proxy stocks as well. They're going to show the same similarities as this. Wolf is going for a massive run, ladies and gentlemen. From here all the way to here, it's gone up a whopping 20x. We have some more room to go. That's a 77x. Mining companies tend to go parabolic right at the end of Bitcoin cycle. So what they tend to do is, Bitcoin maxis, they rotate their profits. They genuinely do. They don't jump into altcoins. What they do is they jump into mining companies. It's very similar as gold bugs. What gold bugs tend to do, they hold gold for quite some time and then they rotate into gold mining stocks, and then it goes parabolic. SBET is going to do exactly the same thing as all of these mining companies. All right, guys, don't you worry about it right now. It's forming a bullish pennant right over here, just moving sideways, and this is a great sign. Okay, right over here and right over here for a massive breakout. It takes time. These things do take time, and I'm just quickly freestyling this for you. If I place a trend line from here to here, we can easily reclaim the highs and then head to $350. Bitmain is doing the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. It will break out and then head over to $300 to $400 US, and that's just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be patient, just like Bitcoin mining companies. It took a very long time. Yeah, if you keep running to a new coin, constantly rotating your portfolio, that's the number one way to destroy your portfolio. Yeah, there are folks that were sitting on Orion. Yeah, I know this is like the blue-eyed boy at the moment, but there's going to be so many other mining companies. MicroStrategy done it first, Iron done it second, Wolf is about to do it, make all-time new highs. So we're going to see this continue, and this is going to continue to run up for quite some time. I said 250. All right, guys. So I did tell you many times, I begged you, I said many times, okay, buy these or have a look at these mining companies. Yeah, and they're outperforming everything. We're going to look at one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, one more thing. And I don't want to be bearish, but I have to be honest and truthful. I took the time of day to give you this, ladies and gentlemen, because there's going to be some confusion. What's going to happen is a lot of folks are going to tell you to buy the dip, and we're going to see altcoin season. We are eventually going to see altcoin season. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. Just like the gold bugs for years and years and years and years and years. I used to hear gold bugs for years scream the same thing. Super cycle, super cycle, super cycle. I used to laugh at them. I used to genuinely laugh at them. I thought, oh my God, these poor guys. And then I took heed, and then I realized they were onto something, okay? And now we have a super cycle for commodities. Altcoins are going to bleed, okay? In the month of October, they don't do well. They bleed against Bitcoin. That means Bitcoin is going to go up for a run. It's going to take all the liquidity and some more. This is October 2024. This right over here is October 2021. And what do you see over here? A green candle, but it's barely green. And then what do you see over here? You see another fat red candle. And that was altcoin season, by the way, that year in 2027. So what's going to happen is altcoins are going to bleed while Bitcoin swallows all that liquidity and some more, okay? And some more. It's going to go for its run to 145. It's going to leave altcoins. Ethereum's not an altcoin, by the way, so please never forget that. Ethereum isn't an altcoin. It's going to be a new financial system for stable coins. I'm going to give you a quick trading tutorial, all right? Just a quick one. This is resistance right over here, okay? It used to be support, former support turned into resistance. So what you do is you long from here, and you exit over here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to head over to this area. That's a bounce of 27%. All right, form that as resistance. You short, and it continues to go down. Let's have a look at the news. We have Plasma. It's a stable coin, and it was built by Tether. They have a new meme coin now. It's worth 60 million market cap. Degenerates, they couldn't help themselves. They really couldn't help themselves. So they pumped some random coin, and it was called Trillions, and they pumped it all the way to 60 million. Let's have a look on Dex Screener. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It went up, go to 61 million US dollars. It went up a whopping 40x. If you didn't buy it in the first 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, you would have been down massively. Yeah, you would have been holding the bag, and currently is down by 73%. It's heading all the way down by 99%, ladies and gentlemen. In the hourly, it's down by 2%. Currently stands at 23 million market cap. You can buy it if you want to, but this is heading straight to zero. Crypto braces for US government shutdown. All right, government is shutting down again. They're not paying their staff members. What is going on? The White House message to congressional Democrats ahead of make it or break it meeting with President Trump over the US finance. As the Oval Office meeting creeps closer, the spectre of the government shutdown looms ever darker, and crypto traders are bracing for impact as the Democrats and Republicans remain gridlocked over soon to expire health insurance subsidies. This happens all the time. This is not the first time. I remember before, same thing happened, ladies and gentlemen. They'll come to a conclusion. It's a nothing burger. Don't worry, it's a nothing burger. A woman admits UK Bitcoin fraud charges after the world's largest crypto siege. This woman pleaded guilty after wallets with 61,000 Bitcoin worth over 5 billion US dollars was seized from a London home, a North London home. I recognize her. I think I've seen her before. Surely. A woman has been convicted for her role in a multi-billion-dollar Bitcoin fraud after what is thought to have been the world's largest crypto seizure. She's 45 years old, and between 2014 and 2017, she stole from 28,000 people. She stored the proceeds in Bitcoin, but UK authorities made a breakthrough in a case when they raided her mansion. I remember this case. I was shocked. I could not believe it. The UK has now seized 5 billion. I hope they don't sell that Bitcoin. I pray they learned the lessons from the German government and they do not sell. You never ever sell your Bitcoin. You borrow against Bitcoin. You never ever sell your Bitcoin. Bitcoin becomes a perpetual put option on the US dollar. We all know this. The US dollar is it's just getting debased every single year. Every year you hold the pound, the dollar, the fiat, constantly gets debased. My theory is they're going to roll over the debt. I think they have like 37 trillion in debt into crypto, into stable coins. The US dollar remains the world reserve currency, but its share of global reserves has steadily declined from around 72% to 58%. So less and less participants or governments around the world are using the dollar. Why would they use the dollar? Why? When you have gold, why would you use the dollar? We should have known there's too much debt in the system as well. The US government poised to shut down. I spoke about this, and we're going to have a look at my friend
President Trump,
right
he's
over
holding
here.
a press conference with Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Meanwhile, folks, a lot of focus now, particularly on Wall Street, but the world on the crypto space. It continues to expand and is attracting a whole lot of new players, from Wall Street's biggest firms, who were once, of course, doubters, to Eric and Donald Trump Jr., whose company's American Bitcoin has quickly become a force. Joining me now, American Bitcoin co-founder and chief strategy officer and Trump Organization vice president, executive vice president, Eric Trump. Eric, I just want to start, because one of the things you said in this New York Post article that leaps out at everyone is that America's financial future, that crypto is America's financial future. And I'm curious when you had this epiphany, because a lot of people have had the same epiphany along the way.
Yeah. Well, Charles, I had the epiphany. I think you saw it, and you probably reported on it better than anybody, when I got debanked by everyone. I mean, Capital One sent me a letter in the middle of the night stripping 300 bank accounts from, golf courses and hotels, our properties as well as anyway, for doing absolutely nothing wrong. And then all of a sudden I started meeting people in the crypto space, and I realized how brilliant they were. I realized how antiquated modern finance is. Laura and I went out to buy a house, right? When we got financing, because the rates under my father were like 2.1%. It took me 120 days to get a mortgage from a bank that I had banked with literally for 25 years, right? Because they had to go through Know Your Customer. I'm saying they're saying, this is crazy. Every single week, I'm chasing a Swift wire transfer, payment that's coming into one of the hotels or leaving one of the hotels. And if you don't send it by 4 o'clock on a Friday, it's not getting there until like Monday afternoon. And you're sitting there saying, why can I send hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin overseas instantly or receive it instantly with virtually no fees? Bitcoin's the way of the future. American Bitcoin, which is the company that I founded, I'm very, very proud of. I think it's going to be one of the great Bitcoin companies anywhere in the world. And clearly, there's no doubt in my mind, cryptocurrency is going to replace traditional finance, TradFi, and it's happening so fast. I mean, cryptocurrency is literally outpacing, the growth of the internet, in the 90s, Charles. And I've never been so clear about something. I've never been able to see something so clearly in my life. And it's been a lot of fun to be part of this.
Early on, the folks who hit me to it, even though.
And on that note, on that great message that we've been saying for years and years and years, I hope you have a lovely day. Good morning, good evening, good night. Peace.